Is he too attached? Is he ever going to play without checking on me first? Your baby just crawled halfway across the room, stopped, and looked back at you, and you are starting to wonder if something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. That look back is one of the first ways your baby uses you as a safe base before he goes farther. Mary Ainsworth called it secure base behavior. Babies who check back explore more, not less. The look back is not clinginess. In many babies, it is the beginning of independence. There is one version of this that happens with no eye contact at all. We will get there. He is not asking you to stop him. He is checking that the path is still clear. He pauses mid-crawl. His body goes still. His head turns toward you to confirm, not to bring you closer. He finds your face. His shoulders drop just slightly, and then he turns back and goes. That drop in his shoulders is the signal. His body was holding a small, open question. Your presence answered it. This is why the look back happens right before he tries something harder, before he reaches for something just out of range, before he moves somewhere new. Your presence is not what holds him in place. It is what sends him forward. Most people assume the look back is just about checking if you are there, but he is not just looking for your presence. He is reading your face. He's at the edge of the rug, about to crawl onto the kitchen floor. He looks back, and what he sees in that half second is your expression, your posture, the direction of your eyes. If your face is calm, his body reads that as permission. The environment is safe. He turns and goes. If your face is tense or turned away, he hesitates. Sometimes he crawls back instead of forward. He is using your emotional state as information about the world. Researchers call this social referencing. Before your baby has words for safe or dangerous, your face is already translating the world for him. He reads your expression the same way a navigator reads a signal, not for comfort, but for data. And he is doing this every single time he looks back, which means something quiet but important. You do not have to do anything in that moment. A calm face is enough. A present expression gives him everything his nervous system is looking for. He checks your face says the world is okay, and he goes. But there is a version of this check that most mothers never notice because it does not involve his face turning toward you at all. Here is the version most people miss. Your baby is playing in the hallway. You are in the kitchen. He cannot see you. And then he stops. Not because something scared him, not because he wants to come back. He stops, goes quiet, and listens. He is waiting for the sound of you, your footsteps moving across the floor, the sound of a cabinet closing, your voice on the phone in the other room. These small, ordinary sounds are doing something important. They are telling his nervous system exactly where you are. When he hears one, his body releases. His shoulders drop. He goes back to playing. This is the look back without the look. The same question, is the safe person still there? Answered through sound instead of sight. Your baby is constantly building a map of where you are, using every sense available to him. Vision is one channel. Sound is another. Even the familiar rhythm of your footsteps is enough to register as safety. He is tracking you. He was never lost. And this changes what your presence actually means. You do not have to be in his line of sight to be his safe base. You have to be findable, reachable, close enough that his body can locate you without alarm. That is a quieter kind of presence. And for many babies, it is just as powerful as being in the same room. If your baby already does this, write his name below and tell me which one you notice most. The look back, the quiet listening, or the little return. Now, here is the part most people never see coming. There is a moment that most mothers misread completely. Your baby has been exploring for a while. He's across the room, fully absorbed. And then, out of nowhere, he stops and starts crawling back toward you. Not because he is scared, not because he is hurt, but for no visible reason at all. You pick him up. He squirms for a second, then pushes back off toward the same toy he just left. He did not come back because he needed rescuing. He came back to refill. Attachment researchers call this the return to base. After a certain amount of exploration, a baby's nervous system needs to physically reconnect with the safe person before it can go back out again. Not because something went wrong, because that is exactly how the system is designed to work. The farther he goes, the more he draws on the connection. And when the connection runs low, he comes back to restore it. A brief touch, a look at your face, a moment in your arms. Then he is ready to go again. This is not regression. This is not clinginess getting worse. This is the exploration cycle working exactly as it should. And here is what that means for you. Every time he comes back, you do not need to hold on longer, redirect him back to his toys, or wonder if you are doing something to keep him dependent. You just need to be there, calm, available, the same base he left from. Because the babies who come back most freely are often the same babies who go out the farthest. They have learned that the base is always there, that coming back is always safe, and that going out again is always possible. He is not stuck on you. He is using you, the way every explorer uses a base camp before going farther than before. Here is what all of this adds up to. The look back across the room, the pause in the hallway to listen for your footsteps, the crawl back to you in the middle of a play session that seemed to be going fine. These are not 3 different problems. They are 3 versions of the same signal. Your baby is not checking on you because he is weak. He is checking on you because his nervous system is doing exactly what it was built to do. Use a safe base to make exploration possible. And you are that base. Not because you do everything perfectly, not because you are always in the same room, but because your presence, your face, your voice, the sound of you moving through the house has become the signal that tells him the world is safe enough to move through. The next time he looks back, you do not need to do anything special. Just be there. Let him find you. That is the whole answer. Every time he looks back and finds you, he gets the same message. Safe. Go. Every time he listens in the hallway and hears you, the same message. Safe. Go. Every time he crawls back to refill and you are still there, the same message. Safe. Go. You are not holding him back. You have been sending him forward this whole time. If this changed the way you see that little look back, write what your baby does most in the comments. The check, the listen, or the return. Because you were already reading the signal. You just did not have the words for it yet. And if you want to understand the next one, subscribe and watch this. When your baby climbs on you, here is what they are really asking for. Because that behavior has a meaning most people never decode.